Hey guys, welcome. It's been a minute since I've posted a video. Been busy with work and life and family drama, but with the Steam Summer Sale happening and 700,000 copies of Arma being sold, kind of thought maybe I'd do a video on getting started in Arma in 2024. I know there's a couple other videos about it, but we've kind of learned a lot as we play in the Discord. So I just wanted to go over a few things that I've learned playing Arma that maybe help you out when you're getting started playing, if maybe you've recently purchased it or you're just getting back into it after a long break. But first, let's just talk about Arma for a minute. It's a game that came out in 2013, so it's 11 years old. There's a huge community around this game. You'll probably have no problem finding people to play with, finding a unit to fall in with and have weekly events with. That being said, there are some interesting aspects to this game which you should probably be aware of. First off, the engine of the game being pretty old, there are some interesting physics that happen when objects interact with each other. You can find on YouTube any number of videos of a tank just bumping into another vehicle and they both get flung into low Earth orbit, or people falling through the map, or people just being instantly teleported to God knows where. There's so many interesting things that happen, but it's part of the jank. It's part of the spark of this game. The jank kind of makes the game what it is, and even though it can be frustrating sometimes, it's such an enjoyable experience that you'll be able to look past it. Now, on the community side though, there are tons and tons and tons and tons of units, squads, groups out there that you can fall in with. Later on in the video, we'll talk about how to find and how to join those units, but you can find a lot of different styles of play as well. There's tons of milsim units in the Arma community. There's a bunch of casual, there's some role play. Whatever you're looking for, you'll probably find it. There are also mods that change the way the game runs. Like, there is a mod called Antistasi that turns the game into a resource collection / survival game. There are mods and communities out there that play Halo or Vietnam era conflicts in this game. There's so much to it, it can be very, very overwhelming. Speaking of mods, let's get into our next topic. Mods are something you just can't get away. This is an 11-year-old game, and there's just a lot of stuff that people have added to it over the years. Two of the big ones being Ace and CBA. So CBA is a collection of scripts. Ace is a mod that builds on top of CBA and adds all kinds of different functionality, medical, logistics, just tons of new stuff so that you can enjoy the game even more. So mods are definitely a necessity. Each organization or unit that you join is probably going to have a mod list that they run with. There are some out there that play vanilla, but usually they'll put them in a collection. So collection is just a group of mods. If you subscribe to an individual mod or you subscribe to a collection, Steam will download all of those mods to your computer. You just have to make sure that in the Arma launcher that you enable those mods before you launch. Once you run the game with your mods, you'll see down here we've got a little puzzle piece. So this is listing all the mods that you have active in the game right now. And this one right here lists all of the DLC that you have. One of the things that is important to note is when you are looking for multiplayer servers, this expansions box here lists all of the expansions that it is running right now. So green generally means it's good. Red means either you are missing it or you've got a incompatibility with mod versions. Now that we've delved into mods and we're ready to start tackling missions in Arma, one of the other things that might want to take a look at is training. Bootcamp is a series of missions that will walk you through how to do different things in the game, like do land navigation, use the map, place markers, drive vehicles, fire at enemies, just the basics of playing the game. There is also VR training. So it loads a map that has a bunch of different subjects and topics that you can go through to learn more about different things like ballistics, helicopters, vehicles. I would highly recommend you check this out. Go through a few things, especially weapon handling, learn how to place mines, learn how to use vehicles, how to fly a helicopter, just a few things to help you get started. And then once you're done with that, there is actually a little bit more in-depth instructions in the field menu, but it is a lot of reading. There is a lot of reading in here. The good thing is though that mods also have added a few things into this help manual, so if you just need to look at something real quick, you can take a look here. There's also the BI wiki, which is really helpful for learning how to do things. One other thing that might be useful are showcases. Showcases are not necessarily training specific missions. They're designed to allow you to choose a particular subject or topic and then play a tailored scenario that involves you doing said thing. So for instance, if you wanted to do a mission with VTOLs, then you click on VTOLs. If you wanted to learn how to fly fixed-wing aircraft, you want to learn how Zeus works, these are not necessarily training specific scenarios, but they will put you in those roles and allow you to practice and play using those particular topics. And then finally, a lot of times units or organizations that you join will have their own individual trainings and maps that they'll want you to go through, or that they'll have available for you to go through. So, you know, it's always worth asking. And as you play, you'll grow, you'll learn how to do things. Speaking of units, now would probably be a good time to talk about them. So in February, BI published an article called How to Find an Arma 3 Unit in 2024. And it has a lot of good content about where to go to find a unit, but it really doesn't talk about why units are necessary. So I know I've mentioned previously, but playing with friends is the way that you want to play this game for the most part, because it just enhances the fun tenfold. Now there's a bunch of different styles of units and units that do different things, and the article covers that here a little bit, but you'll probably find a unit that suits your needs. It probably won't be the first unit that you find, so don't be afraid to go in, check it out, say hi, see what they're about, and then if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, and just say, hey, thanks for having me, and leave. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. So the first thing that they talk about is the Arma 3 units feature. So it's a web page that integrates into Arma and the launcher so that you can go and find a unit, join it, and then when you're playing in multiplayer, it adds that unit's unit patch to your right shoulder. It's a good idea to look for units there and join one. Just make sure you reach out, join the Discord if it's listed, and just generally try to be an active member, because the more that you put into it, the more that you get out of being in a unit. The next thing that they talk about is the BI forums. So there are dedicated forum spaces and lists of units on BI's own forums. On the Discord, the official Arma Discord, there are also channels specifically for finding a unit or advertising that you're looking for a unit. There's also the Steam discussions where you can go and try to find a unit or post that you're looking for a unit. And finally, r/find a unit is a great place to go and look through all of the unit postings and listings. You can also engage with the posters there and ask them questions about their units. Just don't post an r/Arma if you're looking for a unit, because it will get mad at you. So make sure that that is restricted to r/find a unit. Different units will have different kinds of requirements and qualifications, so make sure you take a look at their requirements. Some are super casual and just let you pop in and play with them. Others require you to go through a formal application process and go through basic training. Some restrict your role, others don't. You might have to earn your way into the role. So it really depends on what you are looking for. If you want milsim to the point of you're just shy of signing the dotted line to go serve in your country's military, then you will definitely find it here. All right, so now that we're done talking about units, there's something else I want to go into real quick, and that's playing Arma on different operating systems. Windows has been the operating system to game on for a while now. However, with Steam coming out with the Steam Deck and Proton, and a lot of work being done on that compatibility layer, it is a lot easier to play games on Linux. I primarily do all of my gaming on Linux, and rarely do I have to go into Windows to actually play something. Last time that happened was Helldivers 2 when it first came out. It was super unstable, so the best experience I got was on Windows until they fixed it. But now I haven't used the Windows machine in months. So Arma does not officially support Linux with a client, but using Proton, it's really easy to get it up and running. If you're on a Mac, it's completely different. They do have some kind of Mac port. You can find more information about it on the BI wiki, but what I've heard is Mac is a little bit harder to get mods and stuff working. So what I just want to talk about here is Linux. So if you want to take the jump and you want to get into playing games on Linux, that's amazing. Congratulations. Be patient. It will take some time to learn, but there is a website that I'm going to link in the description that kind of walks through how to run Arma, Reforger, and Arma 3 under Linux. It goes through how to get the compatibility and stuff down, and how to get that just running. One thing I will say is I use the regular Arma launcher just fine. The Unix launcher, you could use that. I prefer the Arma launcher itself. I have the best luck using GE Proton 755, I think it is. So I highly recommend you do that instead. Now there is a helper script as well, and this website goes into it about getting TFAR and or Acre 2 running on a Linux system. So installing TeamSpeak in the same wine prefix as your Arma 3 installation and running it at the same time, so that way you can use TeamSpeak with TFAR/Acre and Arma on Linux. It's actually pretty cool. So I'm going to link this in the description below. Feel free to take a look at it if you want to try to run Arma on Linux. And I think that about wraps up this video. I just wanted to go over a few things that stuck out to me when I first started playing. There's a ton of videos out there about how to get started actually playing Arma, how to configure your controls, how to do various things in it, how to use ACE and its various functions. So I didn't really want to reinvent the wheel there, but hopefully I gave you a good starting point with some additional information that isn't always apparent when starting out in Arma. And over the coming months, I hope to post some more how-to videos and other Arma content as I start getting back into editing videos and posting it here on the channel. Next up on the shoot, I'm going to be doing a video on Eden editing, how to get into Eden, how to start creating your own basic missions, and also talking about the mod that I work on that's basically just a framework that makes a lot of complicated scripted stuff super easy and simple. Just click a button and a bunch of scripts run to do something that would have probably been a lot of troubleshooting and frustration. So stay tuned for that. As always, feel free to like and subscribe. And if you want to start playing with us or have some questions, want to chat, feel free to hop into our Discord and say hi. Thanks for watching.